Rogers Show. Starring Roy Rogers, King of the Cowboys, Trigger, his golden palomino, and Dale Evans, Queen of the West. With Pat Brady, his comical sidekick, and Roy's wonder dog, Bullet.
Well, of course it's nice that people were so generous. But we need a children's ward in the hospital. Look at what happened when little Johnny Lucas broke his leg. They had to put his bed out in the hall. If he hadn't been too sick to move, I'd have taken him home with me.
You'd mother the whole town if you got the chance.
Well, it's my town and I live in it.
Roy, old Eli Carson just phoned again. Getting to be a blasted nuisance if you ask me.
What's the matter? Did somebody break into his place again?
Last night, he says. The same old thing. He claims that he chased them off before they had a chance to steal anything. You know, I'm beginning to think that he's dreaming this whole thing up. He's got something hid in that shack, no matter what he says. And it's making a nervous Nellie out of him.
Well, Pat and I are going to be out that way this afternoon. I'll have a look around.
Oh, all right, but you're just wasting your time.
Well, look, why don't you ask him for a contribution?
Hopeful, aren't you?
Won't hurt to try.
You tell Mr. Carson from me, the next time he calls, somebody had better have stolen something, or I'll arrest him for hogging up the telephone lines.
Look, Sheriff, how much money we have in the hospital.
Oh, Dale.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's wonderful.
Well, here we are again.
Look at that place. You wouldn't expect to find a two-bit piece in a cracked sugar bowl.
The big guy don't go to all this trouble unless there's plenty in it.
Why fool around with all these tricks? If I was him, I'd just grab the caboodle and beat it.
Sure, with Rogers and a posse behind. Now me, I like the way the big guy plays it. Safe and easy. Come on. Lock.
Again, dang it.
She'll go now. Fixed her. Who's next on the list we gotta see?
Eli Carson.
Why, he won't give you anything, even for a children's hospital. That old miser's got the first nickel he's ever earned. Right now, he's trying to figure out how to take the hide off the buffalo on it.
We don't know that he's a miser, Pat. It's just the way he lives gives that impression.
Yeah? Well, what's he been doing with all that money he's got from selling off his land a piece at a time? Well, why should strangers be acting so unsociable like?
Let's find out.
I'll be right with you.
You're right, Nick. It's a stick-up.
Yeah, hiding behind a deputy's badge to make it look legal.
You're wrong. This isn't a stick-up.
Then why are you chasing us for nothing?
Yeah? Why were you dodging us then?
We weren't dodging. We had places to go.
What are your names?
I'm Walt Irving. This here's Nick Arnold.
What are you doing here?
Oh, going from here to some other place?
Ain't no law again that.
If there ain't, we'll be moseying.
Why didn't you run them in, Roy?
Like they said, we don't know that they've broken any laws. Yet. It's a good thing for me you brought that shotgun along.
Oh, yes. This is a real great pacifier. Roy, I forgot to load it.
Now, see here, Sheriff. This is the third time this has happened. Suppose you quit looking for those robbers and start trying to catch them.
Mister. I ain't done nothing. I just rode in looking for a job.
Well, you can just ride yourself out. I ain't hiring anybody.
Well, maybe you could tell me where I could find work then.
Keep 'em up.
I need a job mighty bad. Can do most anything. Punching cows, pitching hay. Well, I even once spent my nights watching a bank.
You're wasting my time. A bank?
Well, just for a while, between roundups.
What's your name, stranger?
Highland Tally. I was still in three-cornered pants when I cut that down to hide.
Well, maybe I can use you. Remember, I ain't promising anything, not till we've had a talk.
Suits me fine, mister.
All right, get down. But I'm still keeping my eye on you. Well, get in. You're keeping me standing here in my socks.
Yes, I understand. That's all right. That's all right. Thank you just the same. Goodbye.
Here's some more toys for the children. Thank you, Bullet. Why, Sheriff, we're supposed to be collecting toys, not playing with them.
Oh, I was just trying to see if this works all right, that's all.
How are the contributions coming in?
Not so good, Dale. I'm getting more promises than cash. The rate we're going, we won't get that wing on the Children's Hospital till next year.
But we need it now.
Yeah. Say, I've got an idea. Why don't we write to that fellow back east that sent us the money for the church?
But we don't know his name. The lawyer sent the money.
Oh.
Hello, Dale.
Hi, Sheriff. Hi, Roy.
Hello, Roy.
Excuse me, I have to make some more collections. Come on, Bullet.
By the way, Roy, Carson phoned a while ago and said he'd had another robbery attempt. Said he took a shot at a couple of fellas riding away, but it was too far to see what they looked like.
Hey, maybe that was that two we met up with.
Walt Irving and Nick Arnold. Did you ever hear of them?
Walt Irving and Nick Arnold. No. If I had, it would be right up there. I never forget a name, or a face, either.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Roy, maybe you better go over there and check with Carson. I can ride if I have to, but if I don't have to, I can't.
Hey, I'll go with you, Roy. Maybe we can stand old Carson on his head and shake enough money out of him to build that hospital.
All right. See you later, Sheriff.
Bye.
Shooting at the law.
Well, great snakes, why didn't you tell me? You said there was two of them. Thought maybe they'd come back.
You're lucky you didn't get your head blown off.
Now, I got a head, too, and this big ox was shooting right at it.
Gosh, I'm sure glad I didn't hit you. I don't think you tried very hard. Well, you're right there. I don't like shooting nobody less than I have to.
This is High Tally. I hired him for my bodyguard.
Bodyguard?
You'd want a bodyguard, too, if you'd had 3 attempts to rob you. It's a good thing I'm a light sleeper. They'd have killed me in cold blood.
You mean you sleep in the middle of the day?
Doctor's orders. On account of I got a weak ticker. Come on in. There's the window they jimmied. When I started shooting, they lit out for the North Range. That piece I sold Jenkins last year. Gentlemen, you'll have to excuse me a minute. I got an agarita pie baking in here. It looks like. I don't know why anybody would want to rob me. I ain't got nothing worth stealing. Don't sit there! It's got a loose leg. I've been meaning to fix it.
Mr. Carson, there's a rumor going around that you have a lot of money concealed in this house.
Right? That's ridiculous. Do you think I'd live in this dump if I could afford something better?
Well, I wouldn't know, but if you do have any money, I'd advise you to put it in the bank, if you want to stay alive. Pat, we better get going.
Oh, no, Roy. We just come in, and I ain't ate since breakfast, and I reckon I just reckon...
Come on.
Yeah, I reckon we had better.
See you later, Mr. Carson.
Doggone it, Roy, you got me so rattled that I forgot to ask Mr. Carson for some money for the hospital.
Oh, you shut up.
Roy, I brought you a sandwich and some milk.
Oh, thanks, Dale.
Honestly, if I didn't bring you something to eat, I think you'd starve yourself to death. You've been at this for nearly a week.
I know, but this is the oddest setup I've ever run into. Whoever tried to rob Carson blotted their trail like an Apache. Yet they failed to get into a shack you could open with a penknife.
Well, you haven't been able to get a single thing on either one of those 2 men or on High Tally. You know, you could be wrong. Maybe he's not a crook.
I didn't say he was a crook, but since Carson hired him as a bodyguard, I thought I'd better check.
Excuse me, ma'am.
This is Miss Dale Evans, High Tally.
Well, howdy, ma'am.
How do you do?
I was hoping I'd find you in, Mr. Rogers.
What did you want to see me about?
Well, I want to quit my job. Only I can't leave Mr. Carson alone and unprotected. But I've been standing guard night and day, and I'm plumb out on my feet. That's why I rode in, to see if you could get him to come into town till you catch those crooks.
Well, isn't Mr. Carson alone and unprotected now?
No, sir. I left Mr. Brady with him.
Pat?
Yes, he came by to collect some money for some sick kids. They was still yelling at each other when I left. Mr. Brady, you didn't leave my boss alone and unprotected, did you?
Me leave him? Why, he as good as threw me out. All I did was call him a low-down, penny-pinching old miser.
Well, I better get right out there.
I'll go along with you.
If we all go, maybe we can persuade Mr. Carson to come back with us.
Yeah, besides that, I've thunk up a lot more names to call him.
Oh, Pat. Mr. Carson!
I know I shouldn't have left him alone. What happened? His ticker go back on him?
Well, he's been knifed.
Knifed? Can't be.
Why do you say he couldn't be? Well, when I left, he was spry and kicking, and now... Well, if he's dead, it's all my fault.
He isn't dead yet, but he soon will be if we don't get a doctor.
Get some clean cloths and put on a kettle of water. Quickly!
Yes, ma'am.
The wire's been cut.
Hey, look at this.
Well, that's plain spite, that is. Knifing a man and then slicing his favorite chair.
So this is where he's kept his money.
But how did they know? It's lucky for you, you have an alibi.
I didn't even know he had any money, much less where he kept it.
That's why he wouldn't let me sit in his old chair.
We've got to get Mr. Carson to the doctor. Give me a hand, Hi.
You know, I'm beginning to think that hoarding ain't only sinful, it's dangerous.
Give me the pillow, Pat.
Well, Mr. Rogers, maybe I ought to stay here and sort of look after things for Mr. Carson.
It's a good idea. I'll send a man out to fix the phone.
Oh, I can fix that myself easy.
All right, I'll keep in touch with you.
Nick, Walt, you can come out. Well, you two messed it up, but good. Best plan I ever had.
Now, Hi.
You were supposed to scare Carson, so he hires me to protect him. I find the loot. All you have to do is come in and take it. I stay behind to cover your trail and keep an eye on Rogers. Get you away clean and easy. But what do you two knuckleheads do? Instead of tapping him from behind, you knife him. Which one of you did it?
Me.
You know I don't go in for no rough stuff. I go in for quiet, genteel robbing.
But Carson went for me with his gun.
Is that right, Walt?
Well, I didn't see it good, but he was heading that way.
Well, any man's allowed to protect himself. Even the law agrees with that. All right, shuck it out. Well, how much?
6,000.
6,000? You think you can double-cross me?
We ain't. That's all that was, Hi, so help me.
Must have hid the rest of it somewhere else.
Well, how do you know?
Well, he sold a spread half the size of the county. He wouldn't let it go for a measly $6 grand. All right, boys, get busy. Tear this place apart.
Here comes Rogers.
Rogers, you two get out the back way. I'll get rid of him. Well, if it isn't Mr. Rogers, come right on in. Just giving the place a clean. I never saw so much dirt in all my life.
What was that?
Sounded like something outside. It must be that old ladder I was using to fix the roof. Liable to fall down at any time. Well, what can I do for you, Mr. Rogers?
No wonder I couldn't reach you on the phone. You didn't connect it.
Well, I'll do it right away. I've been meaning to. I just didn't get around to it. Hello? Hello?
Dale, take a look at this. It just came in the mail from the Wyoming State Police.
Harvey Tallman.
Yeah, but don't you think he looks like High Tally? Maybe 10 years younger? And look, the same initials, HT. That's a habit with them crooks, using their same initials.
We'd better tell Roy. Well, can't you get him, Pat? He ought to be at Carson's by now.
Can't reach him. Maybe Hy didn't fix the phone.
Or maybe Roy's in a jam.
Your ankle.
Well, like I said before, if I got to ride, I can.
Hey, there's no need of you riding a horse. You can come along with Dale and me and Nellybelle.
Sure.
Well, there you are, Mr. Rogers. That ought to fix it. Mr. Rogers?
Nick and Rogers are slugging it out by the barn.
I told Nick to lay off the rough stuff. Come on, I'll handle this.
Nick, come out of there.
Now look what you made me do. And to the law, too.
But hide.
We ain't got time to argue. Get your horses. We're traveling.
The sheriff. Who's the duck? You broke my duck. Now get up and get over there. I don't want to hurt you, Mr. Rogers. I ain't got no grudge with you.
You better stay here, Dale. It's safer.
All right.
We can settle this peaceable.
All right, on your feet.
I don't like rough stuff.
Here's a letter we got from your lawyer enclosing a check.
If that blabbermouth went and told...
He didn't. We just put two and two together.
How can we ever thank you for helping us build that children's wing at the hospital?
Oh, fish hooks, Miss Dale.
And there's the money for the church. You know, the county owes you a lot, Mr. Carson.
You mean he's been doing that all the time without telling anybody about it?
He certainly has. He even hired a lawyer in the East to keep people from knowing.
And I called you a low-down, penny-pinching old miser.
That's why it's dangerous to judge people by their appearance.
It sure is. High Tally talked and looked like a very fine person, but he was a crook.
And Mr. Carson talked and lived like a miser, yet he was generous and unselfish.
Doggone you. If you ever try to pull a wool over my eyes again, why, I'll sue you for libeling your own character.
Penny pincher, am I? Miser, huh?
Well, I'm a-swallowing them words as of right now, and believe you me, they're a-choking me. Burning this made-over chicken, hiding your dadgum money in a chair.
If I was 10 years younger, I'd cut and pick another 2 houses out of you living in this made-over chicken.
You know, Dale, that fight between Pat and Carson's liable to turn into a beautiful friendship.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I bet you eat out of an old tin
Wait a minute
can.
now. After you say another word to me,
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Happy trails to you.